Can we just like restart because it's making me nervous? You're gonna pick the wrong one.
Yeah. Are you happy now?
Yes, I am.
Okay, cool. Are you clapping for the camera?
No.
Because clapping for the camera is like... There we go.
Ow.
Great. Audio spike. Now the camera knows to reset.
Good.
Cool. You ready to go?
I am.
Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from board... nope, 1 second. Sorry, that was just because I know from the past if I swing into it like this, there's not a clean cut, and then it's a little off. Yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm just going to use it. Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co.
Hi, I'm Rena.
And this is going to be our top 10, top 10 games under 30 minutes, basically. Short version is this is a Patreon voted video. They chose this as the category to go with, and this is about 2-3 weeks late. So, hey,
Sorry.
It's coming soon. Actually, now that I think about it, it's 2-3 weeks late now. It might be 4 weeks late by the time you see it. Either way. So, let's go ahead and go into this. This is going to be our top 10 games that are under 30 minutes each. We each chose 10 games. The only real restriction is that my 10 don't have any of her 10 because we're literally just looking around the room and grabbing games. So, whatever she took is gone, unfortunately. Or fortunately. Either way. Let's go ahead and go into it. Now, I will say, my list is likely going to be a drop more varied because you mostly play games with me and the kids. And I play games with a little more variety. I play games solo. I play games with you. I play games with the game group. So my list might have a little bit more variety in who I'm playing games with.
That's true. I did forget I could take games that I play with the children.
Oh, apparently it's even more localized. Sorry. That said, let's go ahead and jump into it. Timestamps down below as always, starting off with yours. This is in no particular order, by the way. It's just 10 games that are great in under 30 minutes. I will say that for myself, at least, I tried to be fairly strict with it. Meaning games that, like, there are a few games I put back on the shelf because sometimes they're 30 minutes, but they're usually going to be 45 minutes. I tried to be fairly strict with that 30-minute timer. They might go, some of them might go a drop over, but they're usually going to be in that range.
I think I have one that I was like...
Borderline?
Borderline.
Yep.
Wasn't totally sure.
Either way, go ahead and start with your number 10.
Oh, number 10? Are we doing an order of
back
favorites?
Downwards. Like, the least favorite to favorite. That cat lady's your... Now that you've seen it.
No, here, this one. Sorry, this one.
Herbaceous! Yay!
I do like... What? Talk about the boxes.
The boxes on that way. Herbaceous. Herbaceous is going to be... Well, you can go ahead and talk about it.
Herbaceous is a card-playing game. I haven't played it in a while.
Yes.
Has
set
herbs
collection.
and pretty things. I like it.
It's that collection.
It's a fun game. We played it fairly quickly. We played it with 3-player version.
We played it both 2 and 3.
Yes. Oh, we did play 2-player?
Yeah, we played a bunch of games 2-player. Just you and me in the garden. I actually prefer 2-player. It's a little tighter. The only reason I would say I'm less likely to play a 2-player is, speaking for myself, I prefer Spirits of the Wild when we're playing 2-player.
Right.
I prefer this if we're playing 3 or more.
I know.
Although, really just 3.
You can't play Spirits of the Wild 3-player anyway.
Yeah,
so.
Spirits of the Wild is basically just going to be that. Apparently it has a 1-player mode.
Oh.
It's interesting to note. I didn't realize that.
No, we should probably look at that. Anyway, this is a set collection game dealing with herbs and other pretty things, and just fun game.
It's from Pencil First. It's all about trying to basically take herbs from a garden. Every turn you're going to be putting some herbs into a garden and taking a personal herb, and at any given point you can try to sweep the garden to try to take things, but you want to time it. You're constantly trying to be like, well, if I do wait one more turn...
It's very stressful.
Yeah, because there's also going to be this aspect of potting your plants. Every time you pot your plants, you're basically giving up... You only have 4 pots the entire game. So you're constantly trying to get the best pot, but if you hold off to the last minute, somebody else is going to score more points than you in this game.
On the other hand, I actually managed to keep all these plants alive, so...
That's better than you. That's true. That's true. So, Herbaceous, you're number 10. My number 10 in true board game code fashion is going to be all of these. All of these.
That's one game?
No, it's 7 games. But it's one game as far as I'm concerned, because I want to include all of them. So we have Sprawlopolis, we have Skulls of Sedlec, we have Food Chain Island, we have Ugly Griffin Inn, Agropolis, and Circle the Wagons.
In the world is that fair?
Who said anything but fair, sweetie?
Is that all your games?
If I were picking one of these, I would probably pick Circle the Wagons from these. Circle the Wagons is probably what I'd pick. So if I have to pick only one, we're going to call this Circle the Wagons, but all of those things were pretty decent. In fact, really, if I was really pushing it, I'd say Circle the Wagons, Skulls of Sedlec, and Sprawlopolis are my favorite from those groups. But the general idea of Circle the Wagons is going to be a 2-player game where you're going to be laying out cards in a bit of a circle and then kind of drafting around the circle. You can basically take the card that's closest, but the further you go, the more choice you have, but your opponent's going to take all the cards you skip, which leads to a little bit of a choice of, well, that one's really the best one for me, but they might might get that. Along the way, you have different scoring objectives you're going for, which are going to vary game by game, which results in a fun little, like, 20-minute long, semi-drafting-ish game that is excellent. Possibly my favorite possibly my favorite Button Shy Games game, but they have a bunch, as you may have seen, that I try to sneakily involve in the video, because I can. Your number 9.
Number 9 is Truffle Shuffle.
Truffle Shuffle.
It has chocolate.
It has chocolate.
Indeed. This is also like a set collection.
It's also a set collection.
It's also a set collection, but it has chocolate.
Yeah, there's actually, you have a lot of set collection over on this list.
I do?
Yes. You have a lot. You have at least 4 set collection games.
Okay, I see definitely at least one more.
Yes. So set collection might be a thing. Let's go ahead and look at the basement and find more set collection games for you.
Said I could only have a few rolling rights.
I did. I was like 2 rolling rights max. Let's not try to overdo it, because otherwise this list will be all rolling rights.
Like rolling rights.
Yeah, she's like, fine. I'll do 4 set collections. See, you didn't say anything about that.
This is a set collection game.
Yes.
With more based on numbers.
I mean, it's based on numbers. How does this one go again? We did this one. This is gonna be. Oh, it does have numbers. It has numbers. It has colors. It has patterns you're going for as you try to sell your chocolates. You're gonna have a little bit of a pyramid that's set up in the table that you're trying to pull cards from the pyramid as you go, and it's basically just trying to get them and then sell them at the right times, in the right orders. Trying to get, again, it's a little bit of push your luck elements in the pyramid as you try to pull things from them.
Indeed.
It's gonna be yours. My number 9. And again, mine are in no particular order whatsoever. It's actually in box size order, because the lower box is on the bottom. The bigger box is on the bottom. Hanamikoji. Hanamikoji is going to be a 2-player game. I don't think I've ever played. Have I played this with you? I don't know if I have.
No. I'm going to say no.
Yeah, Hanamikoji is... I want to say I did. Either way, Hanamikoji is going to be a 2-player game that is similar to Battle Line to a degree. It's going to have that row of cards where you're trying to fight over them, and you're either trying to get, I think, 4 cards or like 11 points of cards, and it's one where the back and forth in this game is so rewarding. What you're doing every turn is you're going to have 4 action tiles, and you have cards in your hand, but it's very often a kind of I cut, you cut, I choose... I cut, you choose mechanism, where you're going to be dividing up the cards in a way that your opponent can pick things, which leads to you being like, what is the best kind of choice I can give you that ultimately only favors me at the end of the game anyway. Lots of fun tenseness in this game, plays in roughly 15 minutes, could drag on a little bit to 25-30 minutes if you have multiple back and forths, because the rounds can keep going back and forth for a while, but usually it's going to be in the 15-20 minute range. Hanamikoji is one of my favorite 2-player small box games, and again, so is Circle the Wagons, so there's that.
Did we declare when we were talking about how this is under 30 minutes that it's generally not without a toddler pulling on you?
Oh, all box thingies. That's just this past week, we had someone over who was like, we have like 45 minutes left. And I was like, great, I'll pick a game that's 40 minutes. We got about, 10 minutes into the 40-minute game after 45 minutes because kids were a thing.
Yeah.
Number 8.
Just a thought. Okay.
I'm going to drag these on camera.
Okay, so... It's another set
collection. Another set collection. Color me shocked.
Okay, but guess what? You said in order of the ones that I like. Okay. So I prefer Roll and Rights over set collection, even though I do like set collection. Yeah. That's why is this one so cute, though? Cat Lady's adorable. We actually have the box of treats over there we have to open up. Ricky requested to play that. Is that an expansion? That's the word that I wanted for. You really have to work on putting the boxes back up the right direction. Yeah, especially when the boxes are rectangles. You'd think like at least a 50% chance I'd get it right. Nope, not really. Apparently. Anyway, Cat Lady is also, yet again, another set collection where you're collecting cats and treats and costumes and all sorts of adorable littleness. And gathering food to try to feed your cats, and then toys and catnip, all kinds of different set collection aspects going on in this game. Cute. Yeah, it is pretty adorable. The artwork is really cute. I really like it. This is one I avoided initially because, I mean, the concept of Cat Lady kind of just brings to mind the idea of a little bit of sadness attached to the concept, but it's a cute game. It really works. Really works. The game's adorable. It involves grabbing cats. The very first time I played it, I kind of like, it's like one of those games I'm checking off. 4 times. We played it a chunk, yeah. I thought the first week we played it like 4 times. We played even more since then. But it's one of those games where I kind of just knocking off my unplayed games. I was like, oh, I have a bunch of these unplayed games. Let me just knock off a quick one. And it was really endearing. Lots of fun. It really was. Yeah, I have a review on the channel with Ricky. That's your number 8. Indeed. My number 8 is going to be No Thanks. That's No Thanks. It's so fun. It's so much fun. Yeah. No Thanks is one of my best, from this list probably, I have to look at the rest, but from this list is probably my best gateway gamer or non-gamery game. It's a game where ultimately it's going to be a set of cards. You can have cards from 3 to 35 in this game, although you can be removing 9 of those from the game before it begins, and then you constantly have this little pile of chips in front of you, and when a card comes out, you're like, no thanks, and you put a chip down. The reason you're doing that is because each card is worth negative points. So that 30 card on the table, the one that says 30, that's negative 30 points.
The fun of the game comes in the fact that sets of cards are not worth negative points. If you have 30 and 31, you still only lose 30. So you get to basically milk the other players at the table. When that 31 comes out and you have the 30, you can basically start forcing them to give up all their chips one at a time, which are all worth negative points, which is a good thing because that lowers your score. And it's constantly a little bit of a push and pull of trying to get these sets and orders of cards. It's a game where players can end up with like 140 points, which is bad, or players can end up with 17 points, which is very, very good. No Thanks is a ton of fun, plays very quickly, very easy to teach, very easy to play. Solid game.
Indeed.
Your number
6. Patchwork.
10, 9, 8, 7. You're number 7.
Patchwork. I like Patchwork. It's Uwe Rosenberg.
Yes, it is Uwe Rosenberg.
Oh gosh, this box. Okay, whatever. Anyhow, it is...
I got No Thanks right. I got Hanamikoji right. Mine are all good. Anyways.
Very proud of you. Okay, Patchwork is a 2-player game that is not a set collection.
Nope.
It is a Tetris-y style game in which you are going to build a quilt.
Sort of, to an extent.
And take different pieces, build your quilt, and make it look all pretty and everything. We haven't played it in a while.
Yeah, it's a polyomino game. You're going to be grabbing polyomino shapes, putting them on your... Well, you said Tetris, same deal. You're going to be grabbing these polyomino shapes, putting them on your little quilt area, your little square, and just trying to fill the areas as efficiently as possible. Indeed. Constantly juggling the 2 resources, which are going to be time and buttons. Every piece you take has a resource cost on it, and you're trying to pick the ones that work best for your thing. And every little empty space on your quilt at the end of the game is going to lose you points. It's a game where you actually kind of only walk away with like 10 points at the end of the game, but the more efficient player loses 10 points, has 10 points instead of 12 points or whatever it is.
It's really fun.
Yep.
I really like it. It's really
Patchwork.
Really...
My number 7 is going to be a game that you probably never play with me. Is going to be Cockroach Poker. And Box done right. Woohoo, look at that.
Very proud of you.
Cockroach Poker is going to be a game that is a bluffing game. This is one of my favorite... You know, I just told you this is a great, non-gamer game. That's true. So is Cockroach Poker, and the limited audience on this one is going to... It's a little more limited in the sense that you are going to want people who are comfortable bluffing and or lying in that thing. Because in this game, what you're going to do is you're going to grab a card. Not you. You're going to grab a card, you're going to say, this is a rat. And then you're going to pass to someone on the table, and they're going to say, I'm going to look at it. It's a bat. You're basically listing these cards, and you're the back and forth, the table talk that ensues as different people look at various cards and try to decide it, because at any given point, or if you're the last player left, you have to choose to call it. So maybe I say, this is a rat, and you're like, it's not a rat, and you flip it. And if you call it correctly, the opponent gets the card. You're basically trying to avoid getting a set of 4 cards. It results in so much fun, so much laughter. This is a game that is like for our game group, it's our go-to filler when we have 15, 20 minutes left and we want to close out the night. The only problem is we then play it 5 times, and we play Cockroach Poker for an hour at the end of game night. This game is more so than any other game in my collection. This game has made me stay up till 2 in the morning. In any case, you're number 6.
That's very true. Okay. Bites! This is the one that I was like...
Not set collection.
Not set collection. I was a little bit iffy, and the box is upside down. I was very iffy on whether or not this was actually hit 30 minutes, but I think our first time that we played it, it took us a little while just to like get into like the groove of it, but the second time it was much faster.
This is going to be very dependent on player count and on the specific players whether it hits 30 minutes. It's going to be in the 30 to 45 minute range. It can hit 30 minutes, but oh yeah, that's because we have 2... Don't push. We basically have a full extra set of tokens in there for a longer board in case you want to do that. Well, we have to talk about the game. You're just like done. You're like, bites. Goodbye.
No, it's a great game. It is not set collection.
I don't think so. The box doesn't even show you anything good on it.
It's collection.
It's collection. You're collecting. So the problem is
they're ants collecting food, and it's like reminds me of the Eric Carle book, The Very Hungry Caterpillar.
Oh, art does look like that.
The art very much does look like that, and you're like eating your way through a whole pile of food. You have goals that you have to reach by getting the different foods.
So that's the part that's tricky. It can have degrees of set collection depending on the scoring cards that come out. Because every game is going to have variable abilities, variable scoring cards, variable ways you even move around the board, who scores the most from getting their ant to the end of the pyramid first. But ultimately, you're going to be laying out this randomized set of food on the table, and then your ants are going to be moving to different types of food ahead of time. You're going to be like, I'm skipping to the next of that color. I'm skipping to the next of that color. And you can all move all the ants, but as you acquire different tokens, they're going to score differently depending on which tokens you acquire and where the ants end up. You're juggling that with the degrees of extra scoring cards, which that's where you might have some set collection. So. It's a visually appealing, beautifully produced. Pretty. I mean, it's board game tables. Everything they do is beautifully produced. Solid game that I'm actually looking forward to the next one. We have one of their ones is called Kabuto Sumo, where it involves like those coin things in arcades where like you're trying to like push a coin so all the coins fall off the table.
Yeah, sure.
That's Kabuto. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kabuto Sumo is gonna be that in a board game form.
Okay.
Yeah,
we'll see. Cool.
Either way. That's going to be that. So that's your number 6. Which brings me to my number 6. Which is, yep. If you have 5 on the table, it's the number 6. You know the thing about like 11 fingers?
Yeah.
You're like, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 plus 5 equals 11. I have 11 fingers. That's what it's like with board games. Any case, my number 6 is going to be Ganshun Clever. What are you looking at me for?
No, I just forgot. You know why? Because it's a roll and write, and I had.
You already had your roll and write fulfilled?
I had so many roll and writes.
So I looked for one of the games I did look for was gone, which means I assume it's on her list. The other one that I picked out instead was going to be Ganshun Clever. Ganshun Clever is going to be one of the most intricate roll and writes we have. This is one of those that does potentially push in. The box says 20 minutes. Usually it's closer to 30. Depending on who you're playing with, it can run long. But I would say a 2-player game for sure will be in the 30-minute range or less. A 3 or 4-player game will potentially run a little longer. This is a game, which unfortunately the box is on the other way, but it's going to be one of the more intricate roll and write games we have in terms of you have these scoring objectives you're going to see over here that you're trying to just score as many points as possible. You're going to roll dice and assign them to 5 different locations in terms of the colors, either the blue, the yellow, the purple, orange, or green. All of them have different ways they score. All of them have different ways you run up the track effectively, and all of them have these interlinking bonuses that you're going to get. As you fill out the blue, you're going to get bonuses that apply to the yellow, which apply to the green, which apply back to the blue. You're going to have tons of bonuses you're trying to gather in this, and then what makes it even more complicated is you can have these fox symbols, which basically reward you points at the end of the game for whichever one you were the least efficient in. So that rewards you for being well-rounded. So there's reasons to be well-rounded. There's reasons to be just, not well-rounded and just try to double down on colors. Ganshun Clever is one of the more intricate roll and write games we have that I particularly enjoy.
Dude. Right?
You're number 5.
My number 5. Okay. Oh, this box is really heavy. It's going to have to drop it. Okay. Ooh. Project L.
Ooh. So we have 2 polyomino games.
Yes.
Yes. Project L with Dustin. How can you play it again? Project L is going to be, well, you can
It's a polyomino game.
Yes.
In which you have very, very nice plasticky pieces.
Yes.
That are very pretty. And
chiclets. They're chiclets.
Yes, and you have cards that you need to that you buy.
Yes.
Buy.
Little these tablet-y things. I don't think you buy them. You don't buy them. You just take them.
You buy pieces.
You sort of buy pieces. You upgrade your way into pieces and or convert them. Yeah.
And then you have to just build up through all your gold cards to collect points, and then whoever has the most points wins.
It's one of those games that I find fascinating because it looks like a polyomino game, but it's really a tableau engine builder. You're really trying to get as many cards going as possible because you can take a single action to load a polyomino piece into each one of those cards.
Yes.
And you're trying to fill these little squares that as soon as you start getting them going, you're getting more and more rewards and just chaining faster and faster towards an end game where you're going to score points for all the cards you filled. It's a lot of fun. We should play this again.
We should definitely play this again.
Yes.
It's a great game. I'm
number 5.
Okay, this is going to go here.
My number 4 is going to be a solo game. Number 5. My number 5 is going to be a solo game, Under Falling Skies.
Oh, you really like this one.
I do really like this one.
I feel like I played this one with you.
You played the very first game, so it's a solo game that can be played cooperatively. I really recommend it as solo play. I mean, the box says 1+. They're not even trying to hide it. They're not like, it's like a 1 to 4 player game. No, it's a 1+ game. You can play it. As many people as you want can join you for your solo experience to help you make decisions along the way. It's a game where you're going to have an alien invasion on this track. You're going to have these aliens, think Independence Day. These aliens are going to be trying to go towards your base and just destroy your base. You're going to lose if the mothership crosses a certain point or if you run out of health in your base. Along the way, you're going to be rolling dice every single round and assigning to various locations. You're going to potentially be unlocking additional locations as your little underground crawler unlocks more areas. You're going to be trying to research stuff so you can ultimately take down the aliens that way. But a big part of it is the timing, because higher value dice means that the alien ships are moving towards you faster. So you're trying to time, but they also give you a better reward. So you want those higher value dice, but then you have to balance that with the fact that they're going to be going towards you faster. And then you're trying to make them explode by basically launching anti-aircraft weapons at them at the right location on the board. That's going to be key. It's a little bit of an optimization puzzle, all based around the idea that you need to manage which dice you use and when.
Excellent.
You're number 4.
Spirits of the Wild.
A set collection game.
Yes.
Yes.
It's also really pretty.
It is pretty. Yes.
Alright, so this game involves taking little gemstone pieces that are also very pretty.
Yes.
And putting them throughout your different sets that you're trying to collect.
Yep.
While also using different cards that allow you to either mess with the other player or to take more gems or to activate one of the super special powers that let you do really cool things with your sets. It's just very pretty.
Yeah, so first of all, a fun fact, I don't know if you know this one, the reason we have this game is because when we reviewed Herbaceous, or when I reviewed Herbaceous, I think I reviewed it. When I reviewed Herbaceous, I got a comment saying, oh, if you like that, try Spirits of the Wild.
Thank you to whomever commented. Yes. We really appreciate you right now.
Yeah, that was a while ago, but yeah, thanks, because we like Spirits of the Wild.
So when I'm playing, kids.
Yeah, when I'm playing 2-player, Spirits of the Wild is almost always going to be what I pick. Yeah. I like Herbaceous at 3. My number 4 4? Yeah, 3, 2, 1, 4. My number 4 is going to be a game I'm surprised you didn't pick.
I thought we had a conversation that Codenames goes longer than 30 minutes.
No. 15 minutes in the box. 2-player Codenames? Please, we lose much faster than that. 2-player Codenames.
We do.
Codenames Duet, a game that we probably lose far more than we should. Codenames is going to be, Codenames is a general well-known game. This is going to be one of the games that's really made it into the mass market. Vlaada Chvátil, for designer of Mage Knight and apparently Codenames. Codenames is going to be a game where you're going to be just kind of trying to come up with clues to basically help your teammates. So you're going to say something like, I don't know.
Fly.
Rocket 5. She's referencing something where I said, fine, I'll do it that way. She said, fruit 2, and I said, fly. And she's like, apple and banana. Apple and banana. I didn't look at the rest of the cards first. I was like, fruit, fly, boom, that's awesome. Yeah, it's going to be a game where you're trying to come up with a clue and then a number, which is indicating the number of cards. You're trying to tie together in a key that only you have that defines which cards are right, which cards are wrong.
It's a great game.
The duet version, which when it was first announced, I thought this would not work. It works really well.
Really well.
Yeah, if I had to only keep one version of Codenames, I would keep Codenames Duet. I still love regular Codenames. It's great for party games, but Codenames Duet hits the table more often.
So much. Yes. All the time.
You're number 3.
Ready? Okay. Oh, this is where we get into complicated things. Okay. We're going to go with Fleet.
That's the one I looked for and was missing.
Fleet. I love Fleet.
I chose Ganshun Clever instead. Although I don't actually know which one I prefer. I think I prefer Ganshun Clever. I don't know.
I really don't know.
I have to play with the expansion to know. There's a little mini expansion here.
You do?
Yeah, mini
Have
expansion.
Played it yet?
Nope.
Oh. I love Fleet. Fleet is about fishing and boats. And you have to get
fishing licenses and most of your points are going to come from just fishing fish, but the intricacies of the game are going to come from.
You need more boats to get all those fish.
You need more boats, and you need more licenses to get abilities, because licenses will award you with coins, which will award you with more boats, which you can get oyster boats, which will get more fish. You can get all these other different, like similar to Ganshun Clever, you're going to have a variety of tracks you're trying to be mindful of as you slowly move up those tracks. Lots of fun things to do, lots of intricacies. I find it to be a little less open than the 5. Ganshun Clever gives you 5 pathways that all interweave.
These have Fleet, a lot of pathways.
It has a lot of, but the core mechanism is still ultimately going to be just getting more fish. So it tends to be a little bit more linear with the kind of branching side benefits.
Yes.
But overall, a lot of fun. Really enjoy Fleet.
Yes.
My number 3 is going to be Canvas.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, this is one I debated because this is one that does fall into the, you can get a 30-minute game in.
Yeah, it's very borderline.
You can get, it depends on the player count. I would say at 3 players, you can probably get 3 players who know the game can get a 30-minute game in. 3 players who don't know the game is going to run long, or 4 or 5 players are going to run long. But a 3-player game, with people who know it, will run in the 30-minute range. And a 2-player game, we have a playthrough on the channel, it's under 30 minutes for a 2-player game for sure.
Yeah.
And it's totally fun at 2 players too, by the way. In Canvas, you're going to go ahead and basically be trying to, well, it depends who you are. You're either trying to build the most visually beautiful thing and you're not worrying about your scoring at all. Exactly. Or you're actually trying to score. It's going to be a game where you have a variety of scoring objectives that are going to vary every single round. You're trying to gather different cards that will help fulfill those objectives. You're trying to accomplish, there's 3 cards. This card wants you to have these different colors. These card wants you to have this symbol next to that symbol. This card's going to give you bonus points for every one of the triangle symbol you have. You're trying to balance all these competing scoring objectives to ultimately build the most beautiful canvas as you overlay 3 cards together, which give you both a visually delightful image as well as a scoring objective. It's one that has really grown on me since I reviewed it. I liked it when I played it, but it's grown on me even more since then. That's going to be Canvas. You're number 2.
My number 2. Yeah, I don't know which one.
It's so hard.
It is so hard.
Yes.
Blitzkrieg. Not set collection, no. And it's not a roll and write.
Correct.
It's so much fun.
Yes.
I really like this game.
Let's talk about it.
Okay, it is a war game.
It's a war-themed game.
War-themed game. It's a war-themed game. One side is... I can't
so we actually have the expansion as well. So you can have the I believe it's... Now I don't even know if I know. I think it's German versus the Allies. It might be Russian versus... I think it's Germany versus the US. And then the expansion we have is Japan, I think. I believe it's Japan.
Maybe?
Yes.
Has Godzilla in it, so most likely.
It's still close enough, yeah.
Yeah. You are going through many little wars and trying to... Win.
Yes. Every round what you're doing is you're going to have these tokens behind your board that give you different score, give you numbers or abilities on them. And when you're going to be doing it, you got to be careful. If you're too close to the camera, the focus will be off.
Sorry.
So what you're going to do is you're going to be taking those tokens and putting them down in different arenas of combat. And every different token is going to have an ability, but also where you place your token will have an ability. And if you win the combat arena, then you'll potentially move things up on other tracks as well. So you're constantly trying to balance winning these different arenas of combat in different lanes, so to speak. And then the Nippon expansion is going to introduced a totally different way of playing where you're kind of just jumping around from location to location. Very tactically fun. They have a game coming out called Caesar, which is going to be using the same system, which we're definitely getting.
Yes.
Because we like this game a lot.
I'm just saying, it's coming out on Kickstarter. I just know which one.
It's not Kickstarter. It's not Kickstarter.
You just bought it.
No. It's from PSC Games. Actually, I don't think it's Kickstarter. I'm pretty sure it's not Kickstarter. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure they don't do Kickstarters. Maybe I don't know. Either way, my number 2 is going to be, boxes are getting bigger here, Tak. Tak, a game which, I don't know if I played this with you.
I don't think so.
Tak is going to be one of my favorite Nope. Tak is my favorite abstract game. My favorite abstract strategy game. Let's go ahead and just push these boxes off to the side a bit. There we go. Tak. Tak is going to be my favorite abstract strategy game. A game that is a ton of fun to play 2 players. It's got the elegance of chess, the elegance of checkers, but much more intricate than checkers. I don't know if it's more intricate than chess. Probably not. I'd probably get a lot of people who are upset if I said that. It's probably not more intricate than chess, but I definitely like it a lot more than chess. The game is incredibly smooth, incredibly elegant. It's baffling to think about the fact that Tak is created based on the fact that in Patrick Rothfuss's book, In the Name of the Wind, they talk about this game called Tak, and they decided, hey, let's make an actual game. My favorite abstract strategy game. It is elegant. It has multiple layers where you can level people up. Ultimately, the goal is to get an unbroken line from one path of the board to the other path. Whoever does that first wins. But the way you block your opponents, the way the game levels up, the way the game gives you these blocker pieces, the way the game gives you your capstone, which can knock down blocker pieces, would also be part of your path. The way you can kind of grab a pile of pieces that you have the controlling piece on and just stack them across the board to like sweep the legs out from under your opponent. Tak is a delightful game. Lots of fun. Really, really enjoyed this one.
Isn't
You're number 1.
My number 1 is Welcome to.
Welcome to.
I love this game.
You do.
It is a roll and write.
Yes.
I think this is like one of the first roll and writes. We played Railroad Ink, and I think this was the second one that we played.
Railroad Ink. I want to grab it. It's too late now.
Yes, it's somewhere here.
Yes.
Okay, Welcome to is you are trying to design your beautiful neighborhood, and by scoring the most points based on the cards that come out.
Yeah.
And whatever goals that we have. Ooh, something made a noise in here.
It's all good. It's a flip and write game where you're flipping cards and you're basically, all the players are playing with the same, it goes in the roll and write genre. All players are basically playing with the same potential pool of options, but what they choose in that potential pool might vary. So you're going to be trying to get neighborhoods. You're going to be fencing in the neighborhoods. You're going to be possibly trying to up your scoring objectives for different size neighborhoods. You're going to be gathering more swimming pools. All the things, just constantly getting little benefits. Plus there's going to be some award systems of different patterns you're going for that will potentially get you more points to the opponents. Overall, Welcome to is, again, delightful. It's going to be a word we use a lot, and that's going to be your number 1.
My number 1.
My number 1 is going to be another abstract game, possibly my second favorite abstract game, is going to be Santorini. You know what's that made me think of this? No. There's a game that's not on this list because we don't have it here called Ragnaroks. That would be fun.
I asked for that game.
It's not here.
I know it's not here. I'm very aware.
Not available. Not in the slightest. Might be open to late pledge. No, I don't know. Check it up yourself.
Such a fun game. I really enjoyed that
one. In any case, Santorini is going to be by the same designer of Ragnaroks, by Gordon Hamilton. It's a game where you're going to be playing with Greek gods, basically, and beautiful artwork. And basically, it's a dry, abstract game that is then augmented by having just every player has a unique ability in the form of some sort of god that's going to give them some sort of just unique ability in the game of how they can play, how they can be better or different than the opposing players. So in the game, you're just ultimately just trying to get your little guy to the top of a 3-level high tower, but you're constantly moving around and blocking your opponents and just getting in their way and trying to win before they do. Each player has 2 characters on the board, and you're moving them around in this little puzzle of an abstract game. But then it's augmented by the fact that every game you get handed a random power. Maybe my person can build twice a turn. Your person can move as far as they want in a straight line. Your person can shove people off. There's just, and the intricacies in the back and forth of the way those powers interact is usually what produces the game that is Santorini. The game is always about, okay, great, I know the game concept, but now let's see if I can make my power face off against your power and win. And then my favorite way to do it is then to swap and then see, okay, great, let's make sure the power's not unbalanced. Oh, look at that, I won twice in a row, even though I swapped the different power. Usually my daughter wins. Ricky's actually pretty good at this game.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and that is going to be our top 10 under 30. You know a game that I'm wondering about? Because technically we played it in 30 minutes or under?
Which?
Dice Throne.
I didn't know we had it.
Yes.
Technically.
Anyways, lots of other games. This list has tons and tons of possibilities. Tons of roll and writes we missed. We don't have On Tour. We don't have Railroad Ink. Roll and writes as a general category are always going to be good for this. I ditched the entire Oniverse series of like 5 games this Friday. There's dozens and dozens of games that are in the 30-minute or under range that are a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. They tend to be a little bit on the lighter end. Some exceptions, games like Ganshun Clever and Fleet, possibly Blitzkrieg, are going to border a little heavier, even though they are under 30 minutes. Games like Tak as well, the abstract strategy that provides. there are a lot of options out there for games that are on the shorter side, but are yet immensely rewarding, and fit into the end of the evening when it's 10:34 at night, and you have time for just one more game. Or a yawn.
Sorry.
Until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe.
I'm Rena.
And have a good one.